Yo, what is up, everyone? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time of day you're deciding to watch this. Um, so I want to just make a quick video, once again featuring Pony, because why not? Uh, but just want to make a quick one to walk through the lab for this week. So even though I'm gone for Monday's lab, Wednesday lab, again, folks, y'all can come and hang out and work on the lab and stuff. But I still want to do this lab because I think it's still really beneficial in terms of synthesizing a lot of the ideas that we went through and around like precipitation types and stuff, which I think will be really helpful for your exam, not this week, next week. Okay, so as a method to my madness, I promise. I'm not just trying to like tack on extra work. Also, I think some of these modules and videos are like super fun, super cool, and just kind of fun to noodle around with. So just a quickie little video to kind of show the lab. So this will be lab activities for week 8, which by the way, there won't be any exit ticket this week, right? Because that would be silly. But the first part is to just really dive back into this idea of the precipitation types and the two cloud types and the two formation types, the names of them, the relative temperature of the clouds, meaning like above freezing or below freezing, like what's the range of temperatures here, and then a description of the process of the formation type. So there's two types. If you're like, what? Go back to the notes or go back to the lecture slides. There's two types of precipitation formations. So I want you to describe them in your own words. I kind of, I think one is more simple than the other one. So do your best to describe these two in your own words. Next table here, I have several of the precipitation types. So I want you to give me a description of that precipitation and the general season that it occurs. So spring, summer, winter, fall, or a combination thereof. Can it be multiple seasons? That's one reason why I didn't do the drop downs, because it can be multiple seasons depending on the precipitation type. So as best as you can, fill that in. And then we're going back to our handy dandy module page. We've used this a lot of times now. But the one we're going to use for this particular exercise is precipitation type, so top center. So the moment that you open this tab, it's just going to start to go. So what I want for you to do here is to just let it run initially and just observe what happens. So what we have here on the left is you'll see a cloud with precipitation particles falling out of it. And there's a key down here that shows what precipitation types are falling. And then on the right-hand side, you see what's basically like a sounding, right? Like what we would see if we were to launch off a weather balloon. This would be the data that we would see. The green line is temperature, and the yellow line is wet bulb temperature, which I've said before in class, but I'll say it here, is just another word that we use to describe moisture content, or like dew point temperature, basically. So I'm so sorry that there's multiple words for these things, but there's nothing that I can do about it. I didn't write the rules, I just enforce them. The things to pay attention to as you can like go through and modulate this module, but there's temperatures here, right? So we have 0 degrees Celsius, that's the freezing point, that's 32 degrees Fahrenheit. 0 degrees Celsius. So anything to the left of this is below freezing. Anything to the right is above freezing. So there's 4 different layers here that you can modify the profile. So you can change the temperature. There's like little squares that you can touch and move. Notice how, oh my goodness, something happens to the cloud when I make the temperature and wet bulb temperature get closer together. Wonder why that would be. That's kind of funny, kind of interesting, isn't it? So what I want you to do is kind of play around with this, like as you'll notice there's, different levels here. Notice how, oh gosh, now it's lowering the temperature in this area where rain is falling, or I think it's rain. Yeah, that looks like rain. That kind of thing. So essentially what I want you to do is just kind of play around with different scenarios and try and create different precipitation types simply with modulating the air temperature. You can modulate the dew point temperature. The big thing to note here, and this will hopefully really drive home this point, is your dew point temperature can never go over your temperature, right? That can never, ever, ever happen in nature. So it's just kind of an interesting thing to nicely observe in this module. So try and put everything below 0, put everything above 0. What does that do? Try to make freezing rain. If you're like, oh man, I don't know how to make freezing rain, refer back to our slides, right, where you can try to make a bit of atmosphere that does something along these lines. So then what I want you to do is then attach a screenshot of your favorite conditions or last conditions that you were able to create if you kind of get frustrated with it, which would be fair. For some folks, this module is beneficial. If it's not for you, that's totally fair, totally fine. I will not take offense to it. I just personally think it's a nice visual of working with some of those different precipitation types, and of course the letting the module run. Then the next module you're going to go and play around with, you can simply just click the back button, and then this one is the third one on the left side down, and it's grow snow crystals. So with this one, I really love this one. I don't know, maybe it's kind of silly, but I think this one's really cool. So I like this because it separates this cloud into different layers of temperature, and what you're going to do is you can click around each layer, and that will give you a different sort of growth type, right? So notice that I tried to go to another one, right? So it only allows you to do 3 growth or 3 layers, which is kind of annoying, but whatever. And then to restart, you just click at the underneath the cloud. So the more you click in a layer, the larger it gets, and you can make it as large as you want. And then you can just like add in like different what's it called? Temperature layers. Sorry, I get really distracted making these. It's kind of fun. So this is really just to kind of help show the fact that different temperature layers will allow for different crystal growth. Oh gosh, why can't I think of the word now? Of course I can't think of the word now, but different growth like types in a way. So temperature plays a big role here, but so do other things like wind and relative humidity. But I think this is a really nice kind of version or way to show the different temperatures can allow for different growth variations. So I want you to try and fill in this column or this table as best as you can. There's a little hint there at the top as well. So I want you to create some shapes. What do you observe? Attach a screenshot of your favorite shape that you created. My suggestion, like, it might be kind of fun to make a small one, but like, let these babies grow. Make some toilet paper. Like, let them shine. Let them grow. Do what you want, you know? Like, have some fun with this stuff. I think it's really cool. Like, these things can branch out. I think it's really, really fun. So do what you can. Do what you want. Take a screenshot. Attach it to this document. Then a student a few semesters ago actually shared this video with me, and I thought that it was really, really cool. So this is the world's expert on snowflakes, and I would love for you to please watch this video. It is about 18 minutes long. I know it seems a little bit long, but it's super interesting. So give that a watch, and I want you to please tell me or answer these questions revolving back to this video. I'm pretty sure the questions that you need to answer here don't take the entire 18-minute video. So watch what you need to answer the questions, and then if you want, you can just, not watch it anymore if you want. But then I would love for you to please describe in detail the process of how ice forms. So give me some good details here. Don't just say it forms when it's cold. Sure does, but there's more details than just being cold. All right, so that's kind of walking through the process of a couple of those different modules. and kind of re-evaluating what it's like to, or the different cloud types and the different processes to create precipitation. These ideas, or at least the idea of the cloud types and stuff, will come back to quote unquote haunt you on your midterm, on your exam, whatever you want to call it. So be sure to like get those ideas down pat, so that when you encounter that, probably as a short answer question, you won't be scared of it. The last part of your lab for this week is to write your second forecast. So 2 weeks ago, you wrote your first forecast for San Francisco, Santa Barbara, and San Diego using Windy, which again is of course linked here. And do please remember, my friends, you are not allowed to use AccuWeather, Weather Underground, National Weather Service, the weather app on your phone. Like, none of that is allowed. So please use Windy, use the compare button just to kind of redo that for a sec, just in case anyone was gone. So say I was forecasting for Portland, you go to the search bar, go to Portland, it nicely takes you to where that location is on the map, but on the bottom part here where it has the different models, which you, if you want to, you can like kind of toggle back and forth between this, but guess what? In the bottom side here, it says compare, huzzah, compare. So go through, find your highest and lowest temperatures, find your precipitation accumulation. Remember, if there's no precipitation accumulation, guess what? It means there's no precipitation for that day. Because it doesn't rain everywhere all the time. We know that here, right? So you're going to do that again, but this time we're scooching on over to the East Coast. So you're going to forecast for New York City, New York, Wilmington, North Carolina, and Miami, Florida. So if you found when you checked in with your forecast from last week that maybe something didn't work out, like maybe one of your models like totally screwed the pooch, or your method of taking the average didn't work, or whatever, maybe try something different or keep it the same, whatever works for you. I'm not grading you on right or wrong. Just don't throw numbers in here willy-nilly. Know that I'm watching the weather in each location, so I have a pretty decent idea of what's going on. So if you're just slapping numbers in here that don't make any sense, then I'm not going to be very happy with you, nor will you get credit for this part of the assignment. Lastly, of course, please tell me how you came up with your forecast. Did you make any changes from last time? How confident do you feel? I have to include the date as a question here because we often forget to put the date in the table, even though it's highlighted in red. But that's why that's there. It's not to demean you or anything like that. And then lastly, the last thing here, take this time to catch up on any late work, right? Especially if you're in Monday's lab and you kind of have, quote unquote, have the time available for you. Catch up on late stuff, work on your project, do the peer review for your project. Anything that you need to do to catch up for this class, I would recommend taking this time to do so. I know my class is a lot of busy work. I don't do it intentionally to like be hateful or hurtful or anything like that. It's just like ways to kind of help us further synthesize and contextualize this information. Because I know it's a lot. I know, especially now that things are getting a little bit funky in terms of like courses and stuff, it gets a little bit weird. So I'm not here just to like make you like fail or whatever. It's not my intention. It's always my intention to make sure that we succeed. So use this time to try and succeed, or to at least like get yourself to a place of greater success, if at all possible. Okay, so if you have any issues with the modules, or you need another walkthrough, or you want some help with forecasting or whatever, please don't hesitate to reach out. It's my job. I'm here to help you as much as I can. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you when we get back. Thanks, bye.